like this. Hey everybody, and welcome to Trivia Ronin. I'm your host, Matt McNally, and whether you're joining us live on Zoom, Twitch, or after the fact on YouTube, welcome. We're happy to have you. Quick breakdown of the rules. 1, we are honor code here, which means you keep your own score. Feel free to cheat because you get nothing. And 2, after each question, you're going to have 35 seconds to answer because we do Smarty Pants on Wednesday. At the end of the 35 seconds, oh, Emily's here. Hi. Show your answer when the time is up, and those of you playing along on Twitch, show it with about 5 seconds left. That usually times out with us. Tonight, 30 questions, 20 of them written, 10 Wayla, and the return of the story with popular request being a chess story. So, chess story coming. Congrats again to Bobby Fischer in the year 1972 on his big win as the world chess champion, the undisputed champ. Is our story about him? Maybe. You'll have to find out. Shots have been taken in my living room. Without further ado, it's the Copper Wire. Question number 1. It's an annoying one. What major American city is the seat of Fulton County? Oh, left over from, I gotta fix my timer. Trivia Ronin made a bunch of money last week, which is great. However, my timer has been reset. Here we go. It's gonna show up like that. I'm gonna fix it by the next round, but just trust that once you see like 10 left. What's the seat of Fulton County? There we go. Emily is here. Good to see Emily again. Let's hope her internet holds up. I believe the seat of Fulton County. Of course. Don't worry, Emily. We're never mad. Sacramento's a good guess. But QVC knows. QVC spent some time in the South. It's Atlanta. That's one you just had to know. Just had to know it. And if you didn't, you didn't. Good work, QVC. Question 2. Everyone remembers Tom Cruise jumping on Oprah's couch in 2005, but what movie was he promoting when he did it? 35 seconds. And if you don't know the answer to this, then he did a bad job. QVC, that was the secret. It was for sports fans. Sports fans of a certain era. Fulton County Stadium was the former Mercedes-Benz Center or whatever it is now, I think. I may be wrong. It might have been where the Braves... It's not before Turner Field, though, is it? Who knows? Everyone remembers Tom Cruise jumping on Oprah's couch in 2005, but what movie was he promoting when he did it? Thank you, QVC. Emily, don't you worry. Chime in when your internet works. That's how we do it. 2005, what was Tom Cruise in? Hint, it wasn't a franchise. Very, very late hint. Oh, yeah. So that was a late hint that didn't help anybody. Mission Impossible is a great guess. Board Gamer nailed it, though. War of the Worlds. It was right when War of the Worlds was coming out. That's what he was promoting. Did you have to remember that movie? No. Now you do, though. Question 3. Since 1954, what nation, by law, refers to its military as a self-defense force? 35 seconds. Emily, coming back from Florida, please quarantine for a responsible amount of time if you're coming from Florida. Florida, as we all know, is a dumpster fire of a state. That is Trivia Ronin's stance. Come at me. I already got Delta, so come at me. That's the only thing y'all got down there. Question 3. Since 1954, what nation by law refers to its military as a self-defense force? 2-1. Emily, also please be well. I'm sure you're fine. Yes, of course. I mean, the guess is either a Korea or a Germany. The answer is actually a Japan, though. Japan is the one. Germany still calls it the German army. I know, it was sort of a toss-up. Don't worry, everyone's going to get this. The first 3 were hard. This one's easy. Schwing, we're not worthy, and yeah, and monkeys might fly out of my butt are all catchphrases of what SNL character? Please write the character. First and last name would make me really happy. But again, it's honor code. Schwing, we're not worthy. And sha. It's more of a sha. And monkeys might fly out of my butt. Sha. Are all catchphrases of what Saturday Night Live character? Now, the first 2 are mutual catchphrases. The third, specific. I would just argue, like, who's the main one to do it? If you say the other one, I mean, you know, good for you. Yeah, QVC wanted to say the other one. And didn't say the last name. It's Garth Algar is his last name. The real answer is Wayne Campbell, though. Wayne Campbell is the correct answer. Garth Algar, his sidekick. Wayne Campbell. Question 5. What does it mean when a Q is added to the end of a company's stock ticker symbol? Not that the symbol ends in a Q, but rather a Q is tacked on the end of it. BoardGamer89, it is a Wayne's World ref, as Wayne Campbell is Campbell's the last name of Wayne from Wayne's World. But hey, you caught on. Give yourself a half point. And QVC, give yourself a half point for Garth. Come on now. Question 5. What does it mean when a Q is added to the end of a company's stock ticker symbol? Added. Seen this a few times. AIG-Q or Enron-Q happened. Show them. Questioning is very funny and gets you a half point. But the truth is, it means it's in bankruptcy. When a company's in bankruptcy, it stays on the stock exchange with a Q on the end. Q meaning crappy? I don't know. Question 6. Malachite is closest to what more common color of the rainbow? So I'm looking for a Roy G. Biv answer here. Yeah, Board Gamer, you got it. I was trying to throw a little Canadian love for Mike Myers in here. Malachite. It's also a stone. But as a color, what's its closest color on the Roy G. Biv spectrum? If anybody misses me between Wednesdays, 2-1, show 'em. Yellow's a good guess. Orange is a good guess. The answer is green. It's a shade of green. I didn't know that until I looked it up. But now we all know that. If you missed me in the week, I'll talk about that in a second. Question 7. What disco hit stole its chorus word for word from Tennessee Williams' A Streetcar Named Desire, including the original language? What? 35 seconds. So the chorus of this disco hit, word for word stolen in its original language. But Tennessee Williams speaks English, Matt. He does. But perchance his characters do not always. What disco hit stole its chorus word for word from Tennessee Williams' A Streetcar Named Desire, including the original language? I'd prefer the name of the song, please, but if you want to write the chorus, give yourself a point. Anybody know it? It's a bit of a difficult one. Good guess, QVC. How Deep Is Your Love is a really good guess. The original language being French, the phrase being Voulez-vous coucher avec moi, the song being Lady Marmalade. Of course, Blanche says it. Trying to get with your boy Stanley or Mitch. Stanley. Question 8. There are the same number of U.S. states bordering the Great Lakes as there are Ivy League universities. What is that number? It's the same number. I'll give you a hint. It's less than 10. Same number of U.S. states bordering the Great Lakes. Again, for my Montreal folks or Toronto folks, where are y'all from? I think it's Montreal. I'm gonna think it's Toronto. Either way, not including Canadian provinces. Same number of U.S. states bordering the Great Lakes as there are Ivy League universities. What's the answer to that one? Big hint on this one is on the screen. Yep, QVC got it. Yep. Question 8, answer 8. Nailed it. The answer was 8. Board Gamer went to Columbia. You don't say. Tell us more. JK. LOL. Question 9. Columbia's a good school. In 1984, this gymnast became the first woman to grace the cover of a Wheaties box. Who was that? She's an American gymnast. Very successful. But remember, in 1984, Simone Biles, not born yet. So it's not her. First woman ever on the cover. Made it. Made it to the cover of a Wheaties. That used to be a thing. You used to want to do that. It used to be a big deal. 2-1. Show 'em. Yes, full name. Hello, Mary Lou. Goodbye, heart. Sweet Mary Lou, I'm so in love with you. Mary Lou Retton, everybody. Not the subject of that bluegrass song I was singing, but still. Question 10, 2-pointer for 2. In the Wizard of Oz, Munchkinland was known for its strong labor unions. Name both. What are the 2 labor unions in Munchkinland? We're not including backstage. I mean, you know the Teamsters set it up, but still. 2 strong labor unions. Emily got it. Emily, I'm counting all of yours whenever they come in, for the sake of the internet. And tell DeSantis if he's not going to fix COVID, at least he can fix the internet. Come on. 2-1. What do we think, everybody? They represent 2 different, one guild, one league. The Lollipop Guild and the Lullaby League. 1 point each. Not that progressive, though, because, you know, weirdly separated by gender. Seems a bit dated. But yes, it was the Lollipop Guild and the Lullaby League. When I was in the Wizard of Oz as a child, I was in neither because I was too tall. I played Jake the farmhand who turns into the Scarecrow, but I wasn't the Scarecrow. I was just in the first scene, and then I left. That is 1 round down, 5.5 for the home team. Anybody else, if you want to put up a score in the chat, feel free. If you don't worry about it. You got 3 minutes. I'll see you shortly. Bye-bye. 1 round down, everybody. Here we go. Here we go again on our own. We're going to do round 2, same as the first. I think it's easier. I think round 2 is a little easier. I picked some hard ones. Just because I'm a monster. So without further ado, we're just going to hit question 11 to keep this thing rolling, and it goes a little something like this. Question 11, at what time does daylight saving spring forward and eventually fall back? What time of day do we change our clocks here in America? That is everyone except Indiana and parts of Arizona. Or vice versa, I can never remember. It's one or the other. One or the other on that one. At what time? You know who knows? Bartenders. I see it every time. I'm always working. It's always on a Saturday. And either my night gets a lot worse or a lot better, respectively. Because we don't stay open any longer. 2-1. Show 'em. Oh, Darcy, you've been out the game too long. Most others know, though, 2 a.m.s when it happens right at closing. Happens at closing here in Los Angeles. It either goes forward to 1. We still don't serve, though. Everybody thinks we're going to serve an extra hour. We don't. Just in case you were trying. Question 12. Ipanema and Copacabana are both musically memorable beaches. In what city? They're both in the same city. Board gamer, yes, it's not just in the Eastern time zone, but it's 2 a.m. everywhere. Not that it matters, you get the points. Long and lean and something, it's the girl from the Copacabana. Yes, board gamer, irrespective of the coast. It's not the girl from the Copacabana, it's just at the Copa. Ooh, it's a city. It's a city. But also it's in Brazil. It's Rio. They're in Rio, apparently. 2 beaches in Rio. I was unaware of that, but again, now you know. Question 13. Georges de Mestral was inspired by pulling burrs off his wool pants when he invented what? Engineer Georges de Mestral. He was pulling burrs off his wool pants when he invented something you've used. Something you have used. This guy's Swiss, by the way. I just didn't want to write the word Swiss. I ran out of room. George is plural Georges. Just kidding, it's one person. 2-1. Anybody got it? Show 'em, show 'em, show 'em. Yes, they're back, baby. Larry's back with a vengeance. It's Velcro. Nice work, everyone. Velcro. Velcro. Good work on the spelling. A lint remover is a good guess, QVC. Whoever invented that, good for you. Question 14. What show's first episode depicted an all-Manson claymation fight between Marilyn and Charles? 35 seconds. 90s show here. To my kids who didn't have cable, sorry, because this show was dope. First episode, the title card. Pardon me, Manson v. Manson. Manson v. Manson. We gotta have a good, clean fight. That's my Mills Lane. Ooh, In Living Color's a good guess. But actually, it wasn't In Living Color. It was actually in Claymation, and it was Celebrity Deathmatch. MTV's Celebrity Deathmatch. It was a good one. They were fun, I think. Question 15. The 10 Days of Repentance occur between what two Jewish holidays? There's two. And if you get it out of order, it's okay. I'll tell you the correct order, but they're two holidays. And then there's 10 days where you repent. I could use a little repenting. It's a great Olympic event, the Repentathlon. Nailed it. I landed that plane, figured it out. Yes, one of them is that. Half point for that. Yes, but the two of them are Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. And Board Gamer and QVC, you got it between the two of you. Larry got it between the one of y'all. Well, there's three of them, but still. Question 16. According to the Beatles expanded universe, which I always like to study, Polythene Pam is what other title character's sister? There's a song that they wrote called Polythene Pam. She's sisters with someone else that they wrote a song about. It's a tough one. Have you seen Polythene Pam? Now that's a bit of a red herring because they don't say it in Polythene Pam, but they say Pam in a different song. It's a different song. Verse 2 of this different song. 2-1. Show 'em. Close. It's not Lucy's sister. Eleanor Rigby is probably the best guess, but I'll sing it to you. His sister Pam works in a shop. She never stops. She's a go-getter. That Pam apparently is Mean Mr. Mustard's sister. Mean Mr. Mustard is a song on that album. If you didn't know that, it's all good. Question 17. What city was Mighty Mouse in charge of protecting? 35 seconds. John Lennon said in an interview, same Pam. Gotta trust him, he's the dead one. Well, most of them are the dead one now. What city was Mighty Mouse in charge of protecting? I mean, if you count the fifth Beatle. Give you a hint, this might be the easiest question I ask all night. QVC, it's not a real city. Fictional city. Not unlike Metropolis or something along those lines. But Mighty Mouse. Give you a hint. Easiest question all night. Take a guess and you'll get it. Ooh, 50-50 odds. Guess what Larry did? Nailed it. Mouseville. Mighty Mouse. Here I come to save the day. Mouseville. Sadly, QVC, not Mightyville. It was a coin flip. And you missed it. Question 18. In downtown Minneapolis, there's a statue of a woman throwing her hat into the air. Who is it? Who is it? And I'm really trying not to sing here. Board Gamer, I know. Don't you love when trivia is that easy? Obnoxiously easy. In downtown Minneapolis, Minnesota, there's a bronze statue of a woman throwing her hat into the air. Who is that statue of? Oh, cool, QVC. I didn't see it, and I was there for a summer. So I feel bad. And I checked the intersection, and I definitely, walked past it several times. I'm a bad person. The answer, of course, she's gonna make it after all. Her name's Mary Tyler Moore. You could either write the character or the actress. Either way, it's Mary Tyler Moore. Question 19. What is the first line of CNC Music Factory's song Gonna Make You Sweat? Remember them? That's the actual name of the song. But you know it is something else. What is that? We're onto something here in this house, I'll tell you that much. Yep, there it is. If you were on Zoom, everyone, you'd have the answer. It's being yelled out over here. I'm going on mute to be safe. Oh, QVC's on a big stream. Bring him over here. Yes, of course, the first line is everybody dance now. Bump, 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 bump. But that song is called Gonna Make You Sweat, which is a much less memorable lyric, although still in the song. Question 20. This famous nightclub was once where the $64,000 question and Jack Benny taped their shows. 35 seconds. Think of your famous nightclubs. Think of the names of the famous nightclubs. Yeah, QVC, tell them to raid on over here, man. We'll have a good time. I'll bring any... Honestly, tell the chess stream we got a chess story for them. They're going to nail it. This must be really tough with the Spotify music I have in the background. This famous nightclub was once where the $64,000 question and Jack Benny taped their shows, and it's how it got its name because it was once a studio. It was Studio 54, of course. And in Trivia Ronin tradition, I wrote out the number because Doug likes that for some reason. Anyway, that's 20, right? Cotton Club is a good guess, QVC. It is in New York. That is 20 questions, possible 21 points, I think, because Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, that was worth one. So, tally up your scores. 3 minutes. When we come back, it's Wayla time. QVC, go get them with that chess stream. Have fun. I'll see you all shortly. Back in 3 minutes. Bye-bye. Disney princesses. Things you can stick up your ass that are nutritious. And Black history.
Hey there, and welcome to Trivia Ronin.
Welcome to Trivia Ronin.
And welcome to Trivia Ronin.
Welcome to Trivia Ronin.
Welcome to Trivia Ronin.
Welcome to Trivia Ronin.
I'm your host, Douglas Larlam, and I'm not wearing pants.
As of August 2019, what is the top grossing film to hold an MPAA rating of G?
It's gonna be a nice, quiet, intimate show.
She murders deaf children right after they get cochlear implants.
Don't ever forget I can kill people I think about.
We make up for it by being less creepy than Drew Carey.
Shit's going down on Twitch.
It's like 4 dementia movies. I wanted to watch them, but I forgot. Remember movies in theaters when they made money? That was the thing.
I'll make love to you.
Am I supposed to wait?
Saturday night and you're on Twitch during a pandemic. If you're not drinking, you're doing it wrong.
It's a cat toy on a reusable straw.
Fuck with that algorithm.
This is Doug's tie, by the way.
You almost don't need a gunshot to die.
Doug, you think we'll get a lawsuit out of this one?
I don't care.
Don't fuck this up, McNelly.
If you guys were just fucking dumb, I'd be better at this as a host.
It was Toy Story 4. Toy Story 4. That came out in 2019. When was that? Everybody trivia now. Now. Welcome back, everyone. Trivia o'clock. QVC. I haven't checked my stats. I assume we now have 300 people on Twitch. Welcome, everybody. Great to have you. Just to catch up, this is Trivia Ronin. Just kidding, we don't have that many people. Wouldn't that be fun, though? Wouldn't it be fun one time? Let me check our stats. It's not that. Let me check this. Let me check this part. I want to see this. I want to see my Twitch stats. Yes, we have 3 million viewers. Okay, cool. Thank you so much. Great to be the #1 Twitch stream tonight. We'll try to have a good time. Hey, everybody, this is Wayla. You know the drill. It's always a good time. Have a good time all the time. 10 questions. What are you looking at? And the first one, oh, to 285. Man, they jumped in and jumped out the pool. That is crazy, though. 980 is nutty. Without further ado, 10 questions. One of them is this one. Goes like this. What is this animal? Please be specific. It had a song about it. Before we had songs about sharks for children, we had songs about baby this creature. Just want to remind everybody. What is this animal? Famously at the Shed Aquarium in Chicago, because I have to tie everything to Chicago on this, as we know. But yeah, this isn't a baby of it. This is an adult of it. But yes, dolphin's a good. It is a bit of a chubby dolphin. But this is called a beluga whale, everybody. Beluga whale, not the source of beluga caviar. They don't have eggs. But this is a beluga whale, and it's cute. Look them up. Question 2: what is this piece of clothing? This traditionally feminine piece of clothing. It's 2021. Anyone can wear one of these if they want to. That is the Trivia Ronin stance. Although, don't know why you would. It seems exhausting. Know somebody who enjoys wearing these. Good for her, I say. But they sound like a torture device. What are we looking at? And by the way, this is the least pervy image of this thing I could find on the internet. Thank you so much, internet. When you Google this word, it comes up with a lot of things. Ooh, QVC. I'm going to have to go to judges on this one. Board Gamer, perhaps you can help. Corset is what I was looking for. Bustier? I'm going to give you the point, and I'm going to look that up at some point. We're going to figure this out. But we're going to go, it's corset, but QVC, take the point. Question 3. This is a corporate logo of a company. What company is it? 35 seconds. National chain, mostly like Midwest and mountain based. If you follow corporate news, why would you? But this chain was acquired by Panera recently. They've merged, I should say, although Panera is much larger, as well as Einstein Brothers. But I think you can get it. I believe the corporate graphic designers did a pretty good job on this one, if you've heard of the brand. I don't know if it's made it north of the border. 2-1, show 'em. Yes, indeed. Good job. All right, great. Okay, so we did get it. It's Caribou Coffee, everybody. As a young man, a friend of mine was a manager there at the age of 16, so I used to drink in the basement of a Caribou Coffee as a young man. Question 4, that's for another time. This is an iconic album, self-titled by what band? I blocked out the part that tells you both the title of the album and the band. Rolling Stone says this is one of the best debut albums in history. But what do they know? Nothing. What are you looking at? This is an album cover, not anal bum cover. Well, right now, this is the end, everybody. Show them. Yes, of course. You all lit my fire on that one. The Doors. Who's this handsome chap? Question 5. I tend to have so many handsome chaps on this. Who we looking at? Name that intense-looking actor. He looks intense. And his name is, of course, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yes, there he is. Ewan McGregor. Ewan McGregor, good work, everybody. That's what he looks like. Obligatory flag question. What country's flag is this? There's one every week. If you haven't been studying flags at this point, I don't know what to tell you. Cubs win. Does it matter? Nah. But they did. What country's flag is this? I do respect when you Bing, as you know, Trivia Ronin, big Bing fans. When you Bing images of this nation's flag, this comes up before like a straight up flat one. Like clearly, there's pride taken in a wavy flag. It's actually Nigeria, everybody. This is the Nigerian flag, green, white, green. Hey, gotta take a guess. This is the logo of a sports team. I'll need the. It's actually, I'll just say, well, I just need like the mascot and where they're from. Like the full spiel. You know what I'm talking about. What team? From where? And then nickname. Nickname, official sports term for name. It's the only thing I've learned here at Trivia Runner. The only thing I've learned. 4, 3, 2, 1. Of course, it's a red bird. So you'll know it's a cardinal. QVC knows. Cardinal. You get a half point. Don't worry, board gamer. But yes, it is the Arizona Cardinals. The trap was the St. Louis Cardinals, which are a very different logo. However, nice work. Movie buff time. This is a scene from an iconic film. What film is this scene from? Movie nerds, where you at? And really, at this point, anyone's contending for the win. Yeah. I'm that guy. Now I'm just some schmuck. 3, 2, 1. I was just so proud of my joke, I stopped talking. You're all in contention. Oh, what a guess. But of course, if you could have been a contender, you would be on the waterfront, everybody. On the waterfront. I could have been a contender. But Streetcar's a good guess. It is Marlon Brando. It's a better guess than Island of Dr. Moreau. What are these things? What are these things? They're sort of prepared in a way that you usually see them prepared. Usually like side of soy sauce and maybe salt and some lemon. What are these things? They're delicious. What are you looking at? And I'll give you a hint. The middle is probably, it seems like a soy sauce or perhaps a ponzu. Just with what's floating on the top. But on the other side is... Yes, everybody. Ooh, jalapenos so close. It's shishito peppers. They do look like jalapenos, though. So, you know, I don't know. Half point if you're feeling it. But those are shishitos. Last, certainly not least, who is this gentleman? Might have asked this before. But when you live in the zeitgeist, you come in here and you make me bing you. You make me bing you now. I'd definitely bing this gentleman. If he'd have me, I'd bing or be bunged. Be binged. Bing, bing, bing goes the trolley. If you wrote Montero, you would also be correct. Exactly. But if you wrote Little Nas X, that is the more commonly known name. Montero. I don't know his last name, but I know his name is Montero because that song is famous and it's his name. That is 30 questions down, everybody. Don't go away. Board Gamer QVC in 3 minutes. By popular demand. Chess story coming up. We got a good chess story. It is in the weeds for chess people. You're going to love it. If you miss it, I'll put it on YouTube. Don't worry. But everybody, welcome back. Good to see you, my loves. I'm excited. I'm genuinely excited because last week I did not get to do a story. I did this lovely event with the people at Match Group, who are lovely humans. But last week I spent 10 hours on Zoom for 3 days, or for 2 days, and then 6 hours on the third day, and it's a lot. Yes, so QVC, I'm gonna tell you at the end, and then let's find a way to get this to T-Girl, so T-Girl can see it eventually. But story time, in honor, because sure I knew this, in honor of Bobby Fischer's, the anniversary of Bobby Fischer winning the World Championship in 1972. Sure, I knew that. QVC gonna blow up my spot? Didn't. Thank you. I didn't know that. But I did know last week I promised a chess story, and a chess story you shall have. So I looked up. I did my due diligence. I looked up crazy chess stories. But I also looked up things to do with America. Because as my Canadian viewers know, I'm just some American scumbag here. I'm always going to come at it from the American exceptionalist point of view. We are exceptional at everything, including chess. Maybe. Even though the Grandmaster right now is Swedish, right? Top of the world, I think. Magnus Carlsen, I'm sorry. I need to give that name right. Murica. Thank you, Board Gamer. Don't indulge me. Let's talk about some great American chess players, though. Norwegian. Thank you, QVC. Yes. So Magnus Carlsen, Norwegian, greatest chess player in the world. However, there's a few in his neighborhood. A guy named Fabiano Caruana. I hope I said that right. He's the world number 2. Constantly fighting Magnus. Trying getting up there. He's about 40 points behind last time I checked. He may be closer by now. We're going to get live updates from QVC. There's a guy named Hikaru Nakamura, who's an American chess player as well, known for his blitz play, which is, short answer speed chess, but too simple, obviously. So hold your corrections till the end. But also one of the first people to popularize chess on Twitch, which obviously now it's a big deal, as QVC just saw. He was on a stream with 1,000 people. People watching chess on Twitch. Damn sure more than they're watching trivia, I'll tell you that much. But Hikaru gets a shout out for that. And then, of course, ya boy Bobby Fischer. We said enough about him, but Bobby Fischer, easily top 3 all time. Let's say that. Top 3 all time. Some say number 1. Some say number 2. Gary Kasparov, obviously, in the conversation and probably better, but blah, blah, blah. Those are your people. But there's one person who's off that list that we're going to talk about today. And he might possibly be better than them all. He might not. We don't really know. But that man's name, it's a great name, was Paul Morphy. Talking about Paul Morphy today. So Paul Charles Morphy. Y'all probably know him already. He was born June 22nd, 1837 to a wealthy family in New Orleans, Louisiana. Never formally trained in chess. Instead, he watched games in his house that were played. In fact, famously, his uncle, who ended up writing a memoir about him, but his uncle and father were playing chess while he was a very young man. His uncle and father are playing. They end up abandoning their game at a draw. They say they drew the game. And then young Paul comes up to the board and says, "This isn't a draw." And he goes and he messes. He goes, and they say, "No, of course it is." And he goes around and he changes the chess piece and he goes, No, you could have won in 3 rounds. And he plays his uncle's side of the board and shows his uncle that actually he could have gotten mate, but instead he called it a draw. So fascinating young man. So by the age of 9, he's playing sort of the socialites in New Orleans and dominating. By the age of 12, there's a chess master who comes to New Orleans, a guy named Johann Lewenthal. He was a Hungarian chess master. He comes to New Orleans. He says, whatever, I'll play this 12-year-old kid. That's cute. Paul ends up winning 2 out of 3 of the matches. He draws the 3rd. This guy's like, what's up with this kid? At 12. He goes, this kid's going to be one of the best chess players of all time. Instead, he retires at 13. Done. Paul's done. 13, he's done. He ends up doing what kids do. He goes to school, he goes to college, he graduates in 1854. He stays an extra year because he wants to learn more about philosophy and math. Graduates with an upper level degree in 55. He goes to Tulane, he gets a law degree. And then there's some people claim that he memorized the entire Louisiana state law code while he was in law school. That's how crazy he was. But he graduates, and he's so smart, he graduates early. Problem is, in Louisiana, he's not allowed to practice law yet. So what does he do? I don't know. He's like, I'm just going to sit around. But he's still known to the American chess scene. And so the first American Chess Congress takes place, which is now the American Chess, the championships. Sorry. It's now the American Chess Championships, but it was the first ever time when a bunch of American chess players were coming together in New York City. Paul doesn't have anything to do, but he doesn't want to go. His uncle says, you're going to New York, you're playing chess. And he wins the whole tournament. He hasn't played professionally since he was 13. Wins the whole tournament, including against a couple of German guys who were playing in the event, because at this time the Europeans were dominating America, hands down. He beats everybody, becomes the national champion, and then realizes, that's all the competition I got. I don't really know what to do. So he goes back home to New Orleans, and he's like, I'll just hang out until I'm old enough to practice law. Well, the American Chess Association's not having it. The New Orleans Chess Club's not having it. They start inviting European pros to come play our boy Paul. But they're all like, nah, you got to come to us. All the good chess players are in Europe. We ain't taking some steamboat to America. Come to us. So Paul does. He ends up going to England. He goes to London, where he's supposed to play the European champion at that point, which was a man named Howard Staunton. But he could never get a game with him. Couldn't get him to the table. People saying Howard was ducking him. That's what history says. Some people say Paul wasn't going out there. Paul didn't want to stake anything. It's all a bit suspicious. But never ends up playing him. But he does go to Paris. And while he's in Paris, he beats the resident chess professional at the hotel he's staying at. I'll spare you this story. But he gets gastroenteritis. He gets really sick. And what they did at the time, this is now the 1850s, they were still doing a thing where they would leech people. They'd put leeches on you. And so he's getting leeched, loses a whole bunch of blood, and he still is like, whatever, I'm fine. I just got the poops and I lost a bunch of blood, but I'm going to face off with the German master at the time who was known as the European champion. A guy named, like, the second year, like, soon to be European champion. He couldn't play the real one, but he plays the guy who's up and coming. This guy named Adolf Anderssen. He wins 7 matches, he loses 2, and he draws 2. So basically, wins 7 out of 11. And so at this point, everyone's like, this Morphy dude is not fucking around. He becomes famous. There's a Russian prince who comes to see him from Russia. He gets in the room with the guy. He's like, I can't believe how good you are. You need to come to St. Petersburg and play our guys. Queen Victoria wants to see him. He starts getting called the champion of the world in all the chess publications. He starts playing exhibition matches blindfolded. He plays blindfolded against people where he has a guy calling out the moves to him. He still wins. At one point, he plays 5 actual masters simultaneously, wins 2, loses 1, draws 2, which is nuts. 5 at the same time games. This guy's unbelievable. Comes back home to the States. He's a hero. President Martin Van Buren's son toasts him. Oliver Wendell Holmes toasts him. They have all these events for him. But guess what? He says, you know what? I did all I can do. I don't want to play chess anymore. He retires in 1859 at the age of 22. 22 years old. He gives up all of this. And he starts a law practice, which is what he always wanted to do. He starts a law practice in New Orleans in 1859. And then 2 years later, what happens in America? The Civil War. So our guy ends up going to, there's a lot of toss-ups here, right? Like Civil War, especially Southern aristocrats all like disappear for the Civil War. Allegedly, he was in Beauregard's army. Beauregard was a famed Southern general from Louisiana. Allegedly, he was in his army. Some people say they never saw him. Some people say they saw him. We know he spent some time in Cuba. But by the time the war ends, he keeps trying to start his practice, and it's just not happening for him. Because every potential client after the war comes to him and says, hey man, I'd love for you to be my lawyer. Also, can we just talk about chess real quick? And he would say, absolutely not, get out of my office. Anyone who wanted to talk about chess, he just wouldn't talk about chess. He'd throw him out of his office. One of his friends, so he never gets a successful practice. He has some family money, so he's okay, but at some point he runs low on money. He needs a loan from a friend of his. He says, I need $200. The friend says, I'll give you $250 if you play me in chess. I'll give you $250, no strings. You don't have to pay me back. Just play me in chess. Paul comes over. He plays him in chess. Paul Morphy intentionally loses to the guy and then says, I don't even want your money, and walks out of the house. That's how he feels about chess. This guy continues on. He becomes sort of a drunk in New Orleans. He starts following women. Or he's just basically a street drunk. He ends up dying at 47 in his own bathtub of a stroke. The end of Paul Morphy. But he's a legend. Bobby Fischer, who we talked about, says Morphy was the most accurate player who ever lived. Gary Kasparov, who was a grandmaster for a long time, said Morphy understood fast development of pieces, controlling the center and opening lines 25 years before the world's first grandmaster, Wilhelm Steinitz, would actually put that into writing. He knew it before it was a thing that we talked about in chess strategy. And of course, Beth Harmon would often cite him as her favorite player in Walter Tevis's novel that was eventually adapted for the screen. Now that novel, with 35 seconds on the clock, was called The Queen's Gambit. Now, the true legacy of Morphy, of course it was called The Queen's Gambit, you all know that. The true legacy of Morphy, to this day, is that he played one of the most famous chess games of all time against a pair of amateurs, Carl II of Brunswick and Comte Isouard de Vavaneuse. And I said that wrong, and I don't care. This game that he played is used to this date to teach rapid development of your pieces, and it's to teach the value of sacrifices in mating combinations. So basically, how to sacrifice to get your mate, get to the king. This is chess. This is what I know about chess. Now that game took place during Bellini's Norma, a performance of it, and because of that, it has been known ever since that time by a certain name. This game. Now, my question now, with 35 seconds on the clock, what is the name of that famous game played by Paul Morphy against two aristocrats? People still cite it in chess books to this day, and it has a very specific name. One of the most famous games of all time. "35 seconds. What's the name of that game? Where are my chess nerds? Hope we get it. I hope I didn't go too nerdy. Oh, good. All right, QVC. All right, we're sending this to T-Girl afterwards. No doubt about it. 4 seconds left. What's the name of that game? This was either for chess fans. There he is. QVC got it. Let's see what the guess is. Battle of the what? Farts. Battle of the Farts. Battle of the Farts is an excellent guess. I'm sure there was some farting. It was that time. But QVC nailed it. It was, thank you, Board Gamer, it was during what I said, Bellini's Norma, which is a famous opera. They played it in an opera house. Therefore, it has been known to this day as the opera game. Well done, QVC. You got it. QVC with the story. We're sending it to T-Girl. But that's a night, everybody. That's trivia. That's your chess story. I hope I sounded like I knew what I was talking about, but we'll run it by the experts later. Okay, good. Board Gamer. All right, so for everybody in the chat who has a chess nerd in their life, I am going to be taking this recording and uploading it, as I do with all of our shows, to our YouTube channel. Just put Trivia Ronin in the search bar. Eventually we'll get around to saying youtube.com/Trivia Ronin. But we have it on YouTube. Check us out on YouTube. It will be up. I'm going to make a promise to y'all. It'll be up by Friday. I'm going to get that episode. I'm going to post it specifically. We have a backlog, but I'm going to post that specifically for y'all on Friday. So tell, if you can, T-Girl and everybody else. QVC, Board Gamer, good to see you. Emily, sorry about your internet as always. Thank you so much for helping us grow this experience as we continue to do this thing. I'll see you next Wednesday. Have a good night. Adios. Bye-bye.